Okay, we have more than this. We got 39 turkeys.
Why are you getting 50?
So we got 22 in here. That's gonna go in here. Zoom out a little. And the wife is working on the cord for a new plug. And we have a little heat lamp we're gonna use for now. I do like they're like a heat mat, but they're not a mat. They're, forget what they're called, but they're a heater that's
mimics a chicken.
Mimics
laying on their...
Yeah, anyways, I don't know what they're called, but the birds go under it, they keep warm, then they can come out. And they can acclimate to the temperature better. We have a couple of them, we need a few more. I think we have one that we're going to put in here later on. We're just getting the initial setup started up. But for the little birdies, they're going to go in here for now. Got some waters, got their food, and whatnot. The bigger ones will come out here into this pen. So we have a few bigger ones that'll be out in this pen. And then as the other ones come out, they can come into here, and we'll have the turkey tractor set up by that time. And yeah. So, and it's a thing not to keep turkeys and chickens together, especially if you're housing them in the same house. From what we found out, that's a no-go. So yeah, we just learned that because I was setting up a different area for them, and kind of last minute everything for us at the moment. So but here we are. We got a little roof up just to keep from flying out. So we'll take a look at the birdies. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna go in here. And I opted for cameraman. Mainly because I don't have my shirt on. But my wife, she just loves being on camera.
No, I don't.
She's so awesome. There you go. We gotta pause. Yep. You don't have to, but we want them to know where the water is, so we're gonna peck their beak in the water, and then as we're putting them in. So, yeah. Got a pretty. We think it might actually be a blue slate by accident.
Yeah, because this is the brown ones. The bourbon reds. Then we have this little guy. Oh my goodness, look how tiny.
So we're gonna need to move that water. I don't know what they're doing.
Hiding.
Just trying to hide back there. Put it in the corner so they wouldn't knock it over, but yeah, well, there's that.
Alright, next box please.
So we moved the big turkeys in. Kind of in the corner, just trying to stay away from us. Understandably so. So we got a little water right there. That one's actually empty, but we got their water right here. We're going to set up some bucket waters, drinkers, so to speak, and hang them from the top. Same thing on the inside. This is just a temporary starting out thing here for these, and then we'll eventually get them a trough system for their feed as we transition them to fermented feed with a little bit of alfalfa hay. And then when they go to the tractor, we'll be doing the same thing. They'll get the alfalfa hay and some of their protein that they need here with the fermentation. We'll have of course, you guys are already standing on that. That's gonna get nasty. Alright, and then for the enclosure for tonight, they're getting their tote with the grate, and they can just go in there, take shelter. There's not gonna be any rain or anything tonight, but that's what they'll have for tonight, and then tomorrow we'll set something up different. It's getting kind of late. It's like 7 o'clock. So yeah, they got this full enclosure. Pretty good size setup. For the size they are now, they'll be alright. We watch videos online, they'd have about a couple hundred in here if they were doing commercials.
Really, you guys are gonna find.
But that's not what we do. So, healthy, happy animals lead to healthy, happy people. So these turkeys would rather sleep out here in a pile of hay next to their food than in there. Okay. If that's what you prefer. So, just because they're in the pen, the new paddock that we have right now, or pen, for the turkeys, does not mean that they don't get any greens. So what we do is we bring the pasture to them while I'm taking care of the other pastures and got to create a turkey tractor. But, so what we do is we pick a handful of different types of grass and weeds, and just keep in mind that a weed, the definition of a weed is a plant that serves no purpose. So technically these aren't weeds, just so you know. A rose could be a weed if it doesn't serve purpose in your garden. So I just thought I'd rant that out a little bit. But look, we got some lamb's quarter and some grass. Actually this was from tulips that didn't produce. And we do have some grass down here. Lots of different plants that we give them a good variety of. On top of their mounds, I have to make troughs. Obviously I have a lot of work, so anybody want to work for free or lunch, come on out. I'll feed you. Just not this stuff. So this is alfalfa, which alfalfa is a superfood. But this alfalfa hay shredded up, fermented, which makes it 10 times more valuable as a feed. And then a little bit of turkey feed. You see that little bit of that's in there? You get very small amount. It's more or less to entice them to eat all the other stuff too. So they do. They'll eat this down, they'll knock it down, and I'll wonder where all the food went. But they do good. They're getting big. And they get their grass. They get alfalfa, which if I were to feed that to them alone, it'd probably be enough. It really does wonders for them. And having it fermented, beautiful stuff. So, but we like fresh greens too. That chlorophyll that's in all the green. It's a natural antibiotic, diuretic, or not diuretic, but antibiotic that helps the birds. You better believe it. You know, how you keep them healthy? You give them stuff that's green, fresh, as much as you can until winter, and then you just got what you got. But so healthy, happy animals lead to healthy, happy people. Right? Whether it's pet or food, this is what they'll do for you. So here we are. This is the pen pasture, turkey pasture 1.2. It's a 10 by 10 dog panel fencing, and we have a tarp over the entire top, the sides, and the other side, and this side, and enough to let breeze and air go through to give them a little breeze, but plenty of shade. We have perches that are wired in. Some places I put screws so they don't pull out through one side and the other while moving the pen. And this allows them to perch up high and keep away from predators, which they love to do. Got their waters. Their waters are, those are not, that's, so I'm 98% done. So those are not what's going to stay in here. They are not the gravity fed that I want to use, for two reasons. Gets them off the ground and keeps it clean that way, and they're easier to fill. So two different reasons we want to go with that. But that's what we have at the moment, so that's what we're using, and they'll be fine. We just give them new water every day, clean it out. The buckets are hanging from a pole up above. I was using that rope slash ratchet strap, but as you move the pen, it does tweak just slightly enough to where it drops the feed buckets to almost to the ground, which defeats the purpose of keeping it off the ground so they don't defecate in it. You just keep their feed clean. But they are going to be getting tons of grass. As this little guy, they got 3 buckets of food, and they're out on they're looking for bugs and whatever else they can find. Yeah, they'll love it. So, what else? Oh, and improvised design. So far, it's going to work. I may have to do a little bit of finagling later, but I used medical bed wheels for the bottom and only in the back. Okay, so perhaps 4 wheels would work. Different design, and it just keeps it low enough. Like I can only fit 3 fingers under there. If I had predators that would go under it, I'd worry about that, but I don't. I have dogs that keep those predators away, especially in my front yard. So that's not going to be a concern. So the other side, same thing, except for I put 2 on there because the one was sitting a little higher, and this latch here wasn't really holding it the best. So it's one's kind of to stabilize it, one's to kind of keep it wheeling. So that being said, we'll go around to the front. And I like this style gate. It's not the latch style goes on the side, it's the front. But right, because of how I put the sidewall on, I can't really necessarily reach this. So I'm going to tie a little wire to it, put it on the inside so you can pull it up when you're inside. Otherwise you're cramming your hand through the gate. It's no fun. But yes, that's a dolly. I did have a rope system. If this was lighter maybe. But this is similar to what other people use. They make their own cart actually that goes for the chicken tractors, goes under it. You pull the chicken tractor forward. It's simple and easy. No issues about it. I'm not making a chicken tractor right now, and these birds are a little bit bigger as far as size wise, so you need a little more height to them. But I got the dolly here, so all you do here is stand on this, lift up, and they're big enough so they don't really go under it, and then you just pull it forward, and it pulls forward pretty easily, to my surprise. As long as you got it centered pretty good and you're trying to go straight and not on an angle. If I go to make a turn at the end of the yard, I'll probably need some help just making sure I'm not hurting any birds and stuff. But they walked along with it and did okay. I didn't have any issues so far. So that's gonna get hot. I'm gonna have to probably keep some rags out here, towels up under here. Put your hands on that, keep it from burning you. So that's our design. That's what we have. They're 10 by 10 dog crate or dog pen panels that we're using, and I just used a metal bar up top going across to hold the line for the feed, and we'll do something similar for the water when we're done. But we'll keep an eye on how they do in this 10 by 10 spot. If they eat the ground up really fast as they're getting a little, if they get older, then what I'll do is I'll move it twice a day. I don't think that's going to be for a little while yet. They're not all that big quite yet. But plenty to eat, plenty to drink, shade, perch, pasture, living it up.